Welcome back to the channel, LATD Nation, man. Of course, if y'all forgot, of course, it's your boy Jay.
It's Rodney.
We back in here with another one for you.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a little minute. We've been kind of away, but hey, we back.
Yes, sir.
Back to the grind. The grind does not stop whatsoever.
Hey, but we have been uploading shorts. If y'all haven't seen them, go check them out on our TikTok, too. It'll be somewhere up here. Hey, let's get into it. So what we looking at the details of today?
Today, we're actually looking at the details of the Avengers Doomsday cast reveal. I believe it was yesterday, early in the afternoon, they started posting on Instagram. Sort of, you know how like they have like chairs for cast members on set? They started posting their names. You know, they started posting the chair with the name on the back, and one of the first ones, well, actually the first reveal was Chris Hemsworth. So yeah, it's confirmed that Chris Hemsworth is going to be basically the protagonist of this movie. He's going to be kind of the main character of sorts, which we'll see because Chris Hemsworth is a great Thor. Don't get me wrong. I love.
He's a great actor.
Love everything about it, but the way that they kind of did him in Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't know how I feel about.
Yeah, that's why I was like, but I mean, it depends on what route they go, because if they're going based off like Secret War, which they are, but if they're going like kind of like beat for beat with the book Secret Wars, the one that came out in like 2015, or maybe the original one that came out in like the 90s or something like that.
Something like that.
Either way, I mean. The way that they could go with Thor in that book is where in the book that in the 2015, he kind of dies early. A version of Thor dies early because there's like a Thor core, you know what I'm saying?
And see, that's the whole
Battle
thing.
World.
That's the whole thing with the MCU now. Not everything feels like it's variants. Everything is, this is a different version of this character. I feel like it's kind of almost gotten to a point to where they've kind of gotten lost in their own sauce. So
right, yeah,
we'll kind of see where they take this Thor. It's gonna be interesting to see just the way they left him off in Love and Thunder, because did he have like a kid or something like that?
No, he adopted Gore's daughter.
That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah, like and Love and Thunder had potential. It's just it was just too ignorant for its own good.
Yeah, it was way too jokey and inconsistent tonally. Like some moments when you would try to get into Gore's story, like Christian Bale was really good in the role.
Right.
But the actual way in which they could sort of navigated the narrative was a bit shaky.
Right. Now, I will say this. Some names that did surprise me, especially because these cats are kind of old as dirt. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Nah, okay, I'm sorry. But Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, no, they're legends in their own right. I just be joking.
100%. You know, it's really interesting. I think the thing that most people are obviously taking from this cast list is that this is the confirmation of
the X-Men.
The X-Men being integrated into the MCU. We've been waiting for this for years. We kind of saw a little bit of it with Deadpool and Wolverine. Mm-hmm. You know, Logan making his way into the MCU.
Which people have been asking for years. Bro.
Exactly. Deadpool making his way into the MCU. So I really like that we're finally getting that confirmation, and we got a lot of like legendary X-Men, like the OG X-Men.
Yeah, like James Marsden's supposed to be in it. Kelsey Grammer is in there too.
Yep, Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Beast, the original Mystique, Rebecca Romaine.
Right, she was bad back in the day. No
for sure.
But anyway, but yeah, we even got other X-Men like Channing Tate. Oh, Alan Cumming is still in there, who played Nightcrawler in the X2. He's supposed to be there too.
Yeah, so they're bringing back. Pretty much, they're kind of taking it back to basics, you know, before they turned it into the prequel series with the younger versions of the characters, the James McAvoys and Michael Fassbenders, which, don't get me wrong, I love those versions and I love those portrayals, but it's cool to see these kind of OG versions of these characters make their return, because the last time we saw that was like a decade ago with Days of Future Past? Days of Future Past. Yeah.
And then after that was like X-Men Apocalypse, and then after that was X-Men Dark Phoenix, which Dark Phoenix to me wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed it, but for it to be like the finale of this universe of X-Men, I get why. Yeah, it was underwhelming.
But yeah, no, it's really cool to see that, because like I said, this is the first time we will have seen the original cast members of the X-Men since 2014, since Days of Future Past, which is my personal favorite X-Men movie. I actually have it rated over Logan personally. That's just me. I feel like it's very underrated. I feel like it was one of the best superhero movies of last decade. I feel like it's very underappreciated.
Right. A lot of X-Men movies are underappreciated. I think
by today's standard, yes.
Yeah, because my thing is Logan. I liked Logan, but I didn't love it.
I love Logan.
I didn't love it. I didn't I'm not head over heels for it, but I thought it was good. I thought it was actually no. I'll say this. I thought it was great, honestly.
Yeah,
but there's movies in the X-Men saga that I liked a lot more than it though.
I agree with that. Like I said, Days of Future Past. I think that the first two X-Men movies personally can still go toe to toe with that movie.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this: X-Men Origins, I think, is kind of underrated too. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not great by any means, and I get why people hate it. But I thought it was okay for what it was. I especially liked the dynamic, and we talked about this on TikTok like last year. So, hey,
long time ago.
Hey, if y'all follow us on TikTok, but I thought it was okay for what it was. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. I actually like it a lot more than X-Men: The Last Stand, personally, because I like the whole.
Most people don't really care for Last Stand like that.
Yeah, because Last Stand to me was terrible.
Last Stand was the one where people kind of first. I think Last Stand in most people's eyes was the first major, because the X-Men franchise has become infamous for kind of having these incredibly high highs and these low lows.
Yeah.
Because for every movie like an X-Men, like an X1 and X2, you got a Last Stand in there.
Right.
Not even a Days of Future Past, an Origins, as a lot of people really don't like that movie.
Right. I think it's just because how they did Deadpool.
And I wouldn't even say Apocalypse was even that bad.
Apocalypse wasn't that bad.
I really liked Apocalypse. But
yeah, me too.
Dark Phoenix for sure is one of those ones that people are like.
It's just Dark Phoenix for me was just mid, but X-Men Origins for me was mid too. But I still enjoyed it a lot more. I especially like the dynamic between that version of Sabretooth and Wolverine being brothers.
Yeah,
or step brothers. I thought that was a cool dynamic to their rivalry.
It was a really good idea. I really wish that they had kind of furthered it. But I think that once that movie came out and the reception was what it was, they kind of wanted to distance themselves. Because you never see that version of Sabretooth again. You never really see any mention of that storyline like that.
Well, that's because it was just linear with X1 and X2.
That is true.
So I think that's a big reason why. But we got more people in here too. Like Tom Hiddleston is coming back. That's obvious. I feel like.
Yeah, that's kind of a given. I mean, for me personally, this cast list didn't really strike me. Like, nothing really was surprising. We knew the Fantastic Four were going to be in there.
Right.
We knew that we were going to get the X-Men most likely.
Right.
What really gets me and really surprises me a little bit more so is the Avengers, like the returning Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the OG, like guys that we grew up with, like, you know, your Thors are back. Your Paul Rudd, so your Ant-Man, they're back.
Yep.
But other than that, as far as like that OG Avengers team as it was up until like Infinity War Endgame, not even counting like that core six, like in terms of like that first that first Infinity Saga team, pretty much everybody is gone.
Yeah, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman first and foremost,
of course,
because that one really hurt.
Yeah,
I remember when that video came out and like people were roasting him, but because they didn't know.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at people for that, but when I saw the video, I'm like, this man is sick.
Yeah,
this man does not look well at all.
Then
now we know why. But my thing is with Chadwick Boseman, man, he was probably one of my favorite actors of all time.
Same.
Like in 42, Marshall, Get On Up, even especially in Black Panther. When he showed up as Black Panther in Civil War, I was like, yep. Mm-hmm.
It only made sense.
Because Black Panther to me has always been like that one first cousin at a family reunion that you barely see, but when you do, it's always vibes.
Literally.
That's how Black Panther used to be portrayed in the media before his uprising in 2018 and his own solo movie.
I would say that the uprising really came in 16. Like
with Civil War? Would you say with Civil War?
But once 18 got here and Black Panther was what it was, it took it to a whole different level.
Right. Okay. So you would say it was his uprising was more like in Civil War.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say because I remember people saying that he stole pretty much every scene that he was in that movie, which I agree.
With that being said, I do think that there might be like a surprise there too, because they've been teased. People getting gotten a bit have been asking for like a recast of T'Challa and everything, and what we got after Wakanda Forever with his son being there. We could potentially see a variant of T'Challa played by who God knows who. Which I think a good recast for T'Challa would be John David Washington or Aldous Hodge.
I can see that.
Or because people were wanting like Damson Idris to do it too, and from Snowfall fame, I think he could do it too. I wouldn't be because Damson Idris is a great actor.
For sure, I could definitely see them going a multitude of ways. But yeah, with this being said, this cast list right here. Does it give you the same sort of hype or the same sort of? I was about to say. I'll be completely real with you. I've seen this cast list. And I'm like, it's pretty much what I expected. Like, not to say it's bad, or say that it's bad or anything. It's just, I'm not gonna lie. This group just doesn't feel as special. I'm not. Yeah, I agree. Lie. I hate to say it. Nothing against all parties involved. This group doesn't feel as special. It just doesn't feel as special. The idea of seeing the Thunderbolts team up with whatever's left of the Avengers.
Right, yeah.
Because when you think about in 2017, I believe, when they announced the cast list for Avengers Infinity War, it was just like the idea of seeing Rocket Raccoon on the same screen as Tony Stark.
Right.
That alone, like I remember just like the conversations we were having, just the idea of seeing these people meet each other.
Right. Now we could see potentially more though.
That is true.
We could definitely see Chris Pratt come back as Star-Lord. We could see Gamora again.
There'll probably be a lot of surprises.
Yeah, most definitely. That's what I'm assuming that there is. Because I feel like the biggest reason why Endgame was so beloved as it was is because like you miss everybody. Like Infinity will rock me to my core.
Same.
I ain't gonna lie. Well, after Infinity War was done, I was like just looking at the screen like.
Facts. I remember. Me too.
Like this, like what just happened? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like...
And it's like we knew that Endgame was coming out the next year, but it was just like...
How?
That shock was still like, how are they going to... What are they going to do to win? Like, I'll never forget that.
I was crying tears of joy when everybody came back, bro.
Right.
I'm not even about to lie. It
hits me to this day when I watch it.
And I want the same feeling here, though. That's my whole thing. But I doubt it's going to be like that.
I think maybe to our detriment, we're kind of expecting too much.
Yeah. Yep.
And the thing is that I feel like regardless of how good they do, it's hard to recapture that event in that moment in time because it was like Infinity War and Endgame was kind of like the culmination of our childhood, a decade plus worth of extremely solid storytelling. It only got better over time.
Right.
And I feel like
this decade,
the multiverse saga for me has been very, very hit or miss. I feel like for every high that it's had a lot of lows. So overall, I'm maybe just not as invested because not just quality wise, maybe where I'm at in my life. Because by the time this movie comes out, they'll be nearly 10 years removed from Infinity War.
Right, because keep in mind, we were just getting out of high school.
Yeah, I was 19 when
we were still pretty much still cheering.
Yeah, we were kids. We were kids when when Infinity War and Endgame came out. So, I mean, it's that and the state of the MCU is kind of why I'm a little bit Like I said, there's not really a team up here I'm anticipating. There's not really much of a crossover feel.
Now, when does Thunderbolts come out? This month? This coming month? April?
May. It comes out in May.
Okay.
So, you know what? We haven't gotten to see the Fantastic Four, how they're going to play off of each other. We haven't gotten to see the Thunderbolts, how that's going to work. So maybe these teams and these characters will kind of raise their stock in the public eye.
Maybe.
That's going to make the idea of their crossover and their team up a little bit more, I guess eventful, I guess you could say. But, you got the X-Men in there. I'm happy to see that. I love that original X-Men cast. I love that we're still getting Chris Hemsworth. At this point, we're still getting Thor portrayals. Well,
we might even get Chris Evans back.
That's what I heard. I heard there was a rumor, but
I really wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised.
And I think that's another thing too. Marvel has been doing so well well, I wouldn't say well per se, but been doing so. What's the word I'm looking? Anyway, they've been doing a whole bunch of surprise guests and celebrity guests and this, that, and
That's
the
what
third.
they've been doing.
So it's like I don't know how well I'm gonna be surprised. Oh, Chris Evans, cool, boom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing, because it's like we're at a point now to where we expect a lot of this stuff. So it's like
it takes
what
away
can
from
you
the
do?
anticipation. Thank you.
It's like, what can you do? But the big thing, obviously, we all knew this. It's been revealed for almost a year now. Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom. Hey, what's your opinion on this as of this recording?
Okay.
We just have to wait and see, to be real with you.
Yeah.
I don't have any doubt that Robert Downey Jr. is capable of playing this role. Robert Downey Jr. is a legendary actor at this point. He's done everything he needed to do. He's been proved himself. It's going to be interesting to see him play against type, because this is a very, very different character.
I'm going to put it like this, too. If Jonathan Majors didn't mess up, I think this movie would have been, King Dynasty probably would have been more anticipated than this.
I think so.
Yeah. It was like you got one time to mess up. Avon Barksdale said it best in The Wire. You only got a chance to mess up one time. Be a little slow, be a little late. And then that's exactly what happened with Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
No pun intended, because he ran. No pun intended, because he ran from the girl. But I'm just.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was excited for Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, because Jonathan Majors is a beast of an actor.
Yeah, like when they first introduced Kang, I was like, oh yeah, now this is one of them niggas right here.
Right, exactly.
This is the one right here.
Like, he was the best, easily the best part of Quantumania. Ain't nobody cared about Quantumania, but the only reason why I wanted to see it because of Jonathan Majors.
And I think one of the biggest issues now is that whereas with Thanos, he had a decade's worth of buildup and hype and was kind of like the anchor thing that kind of tied everything together.
Right.
We getting Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Basically, this is going to be his first appearance in the MCU. Right. So it's just kind of like, how do you build that? How do you make that exciting?
Now, to be honest, I don't want to sound. This might sound bad, but I still think they should have kept Jonathan Majors anyway. Just for the.
That just would have been a bad look optically.
I mean, I understand, but yeah, no, you are right. Kind of, but
for continuity's sake, because I feel
for continuity's sake, thank you. That's why I say that. Don't shoot me.
Because if we had Kang show up because what was that? That was 2 years ago. Quantumania came out.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
So we could have had him show up in any of the movies that have come out since. Most likely, he would have been in it, and it would have just felt more like, oh, this is the next story arc. Like Kang was like supposed to be like the next like guy to tie all this stuff together, and it would have been interesting to see all of the personal stakes each of these characters could have had against Kang, just like how we had with the Avengers and the Guardians. The Guardians hated Thanos because of what happened with Gamora and Nebula, and then the Avengers
and Drax.
Yeah, and the Avengers always knew that Thanos was an inevitable threat. That's why you see Tony build the Ultron to kind of like, put a suit of armor around the world, as he said in Age of Ultron. So,
and we saw what happened with that, which I think they should bring back Ultron.
I mean, you know what? You know what's crazy? I actually read somewhere that they're making a Vision like spin-off series or something. Ultron's supposed to be back. I said the same thing. Because
the thing is, Ultron has always been like the Avengers villain, like I always was scared of the most.
Oh yeah, no, Ultron was like the reckoning of the Avengers.
Because compared to Thanos was very much, especially in the comics, very much that I'm bad, I'm evil, this, that, and the third. No, but Ultron came in with like that silent confidence, like I'm about to fuck you up.
Yeah, no, because did you ever see that animated movie back in the day?
Next Avengers?
Yeah, Heroes of Tomorrow, where he killed all the Avengers and it was their kids. That nigga was terrifying.
Yeah, I agree.
Scary in there.
Yeah, like Ultron, like for me, has always been like anytime they said that he was about to come on screen, especially like Earth Mightiest Heroes and other various continuity, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, Ultron.
He coming. Y'all better pause, but y'all better get ready because this dude, Ultron on the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no.
But yeah, all in all, there ain't really that many surprises. I knew the X-Men were going to be incorporated to some capacity. It's interesting to see that they went with the OG cast.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see if any mention is going to be made or any acknowledgement of the prequel cast, the J-Laws, the James McAvoys, the Michael Fassbenders.
I think they'll be in it, bro. I'm gonna just be
the
honest.
Nicholas Holtz. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like they're definitely going to be in there.
Because if they're going off of Battle World from the 2015, or maybe like I said earlier in the video, they're probably gonna merge the two. Maybe
I wouldn't be surprised if Deadpool ends up being in there.
Yeah, because if they're doing Battle World, like all Battle World was back in Secret Wars was just a whole amalgamation of all the different universe coming together. That's why there was a Thor Corps. There was so many different versions of Iron Man. There was a whole nother Civil War story about what if Civil War never stopped, where like Hawkeye becomes the new Venom, and then Logan becomes the new Hulk, and then Elektra becomes the new Daredevil. Spider-Man has Falcon's wings,
All kinds of
which
stuff.
in Spider-Man 2, that where he has that camo pants on and those boots and just all military. That's where that's from.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how the X-Men are going to, I guess, function without Logan, because I feel like that franchise, especially down the line, became so much more Logan and the other X-Men.
Right. Truth be told, Wolverine as a whole, even in the comics and the movies, he's always been the heart and soul of the team.
That's very much true.
Like, he's always been the one that everybody wants to see, the glue that kind of keeps everybody together.
Essentially, yeah. But I mean, it's going to be, because one thing I liked about X-Men 97 is how they kind of made it more so about the team again. It felt more like it was the team. It wasn't just Logan's show.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I want to see how they're going to do the X-Men without Logan, supposedly without Logan. But again,
they've done it before. Because, another one we didn't mention, X-Men movie was First Class. Now, that movie was fire.
That's a great movie.
That movie is fire.
Really
I think I like X-Men First Class more than Logan.
I like the prequels a lot because I feel like a lot of people I don't think that they have a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to prequels, but I feel like that OG cast is still a little bit more exalted.
Yeah, of course.
Which is probably why they said, let's go ahead and bring them in.
Right, of course.
So, I mean, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this cast of characters. Again, for me, it's just there's just no build-up like there was before, because I feel like we haven't really gotten a lot of time with a lot of these characters. Honestly, Shang-Chi's supposed to be back. We ain't seen Shang-Chi. That's what I'm saying. We ain't seen. Notice no Eternals though. Notice none of them. Hey,
you ain't lying.
Good job, Marvel. I ain't mad at you on that one.
Yeah, they messed up those Eternals bad, and the movie itself wasn't even that bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't great.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, because, like I said before, they had the added anticipation of us having grown up and seeing these characters evolve. A lot of their storylines kind of had reached a fever pitch going into Infinity War and Endgame. A lot of these characters' stories feel like they're still in the midst of just beginning.
Exactly.
Except for the OG Avengers, except for the Thors, the Ant-Mans, people like that.
Exactly.
The Sams, the Falcons, now we got, was it Joaquin or whatever?
Joaquin Torres.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll give it a chance. And then we're seeing the Thunderbolts, their movies coming out soon.
Yeah, review later on that one.
For sure. Fantastic Four.
A review on that one too. A
lot of the strength of this movie is going to be based on how well received these two movies are.
Exactly.
If they can endear the audience to these characters in one go round, because the Guardians had 2 movies before Infinity War. Avengers had 2.
They did?
Yeah. Guardians 2 came out in 2017. And like I said, a lot of those anchor characters, they had multiple movies outside of just the team-up movies, the crossover movies.
Right.
Like I said, the Guardians already had 2. Tony had a whole trilogy. Cap had a whole trilogy. Thor had a whole trilogy. And like I said, by that point, it just felt like it was more of a fever pitch. Like, it felt like there was a storyline that was reaching a natural through line and a natural, like, sort of conclusion. I feel like there has been no real storyline with the multiverse saga. To me,
Not
there
really.
hasn't been.
Yeah, you had the What If series, but
you haven't really seen much of anything. But,
I agree.
hey, other than that, it's going to be very interesting to see these team ups, these dynamics. It's going to be very interesting to see how they pull it all together. And that's pretty much all I had to say.
Yes, sir. Well, in that case, you already know I've been Jay.
And this has been Rodney.
And let us know what you think about these the cast members in the comments. What are y'all ready for this movie? Please let us know. And always remember to look at the details. Peace.